Pictured here is the full-size model of Ali, Dasha, and Sandy's clay brain model. The brainstem is the oldest and innermost region of the brain. The brainstem includes the medulla and the pons. It is an extension of the spinal cord. If the brainstem was damaged, a person would still be able to breathe and walk, but he or she would be doing so without a purpose. The brainstem is responsible for autonomic survival functions. The brainstem is a crossover point where nerves connect to and from the body's opposite side. The brainstem allows for fine motor movements such as playing video games. The medulla is located at the base of the brainstem. It is the slight swelling in the spinal cord just after it enters the skull. It is responsible for autonomic functions such as heartbeat and breathing. If one loses function in the medulla or the nerves passing through the medulla, one may experience trouble breathing or swallowing or something as extreme as paralysis. After you eat, the medulla aids in digestion so you can get your nutrients properly. The reticular formation is a neuron network extending from the spinal cord right up through the thalamus. If the reticular formation were damaged, a person would experience changes in libido, sleep patterns, and energy levels. The reticular formation allows us to multitask, such as handling 5 different orders at the same time as a waitress. The pons is also a part of the brainstem, sitting just above the medulla. The pons helps coordinate movements and control sleep. If the pons are damaged, it will affect sleep. For example, damage to a certain part of the pons can put a person into a semi-permanent sleep-like state. The pons activates when your body falls into a deep sleep. The cerebellum is located behind and above the pons. It regulates the activity of the muscles and is involved with motor control. The ability to move quickly and fluidly would be lost if the cerebellum was damaged. When you play a sport such as soccer or tennis, the cerebellum allows you to have precise and skilled movements. The thalamus is the red and purple piece of clay that is located above the hypothalamus on top of the brainstem. It is a pair of egg-shaped structures that acts as the brain's sensory control center. The thalamus receives information from all the senses except smell and routes that information to the highest brain region that deals with seeing, hearing, tasting, and touching. It also receives some of the higher brain responses directing it to the medulla and the cerebellum. The thalamus allows you to be awake and alert during an important class in school. As indicated by its name, the hypothalamus is located under the thalamus. The hypothalamus links the nervous and endocrine systems through the pituitary gland. Somebody with a damaged hypothalamus would act moody and would be very hungry and tired. The hypothalamus makes us feel hungry or thirsty during the day. The pituitary gland is a pea-sized gland located inferior to the hypothalamus. It is called the master gland because it directs all other glands when to secrete hormones. The pituitary gland also receives information from the thalamus. Damage of the pituitary gland may lead to unintended weight gain or loss and sexual dysfunction. The pituitary gland secretes hormones such as adrenaline when we get nervous or excited. The amygdala is located above the pituitary gland in our brain model. The amygdala is 2 lima bean-sized neural clusters in the limbic system linked to aggression and fear. Those with amygdala lesion often display reduced arousal to fear and anger-arousing stimuli. If a robber were to come to a person's house in the middle of the night, their amygdala would determine whether they would have a fight or flight response. The hippocampus is a seahorse-shaped brain structure. It processes memories and decreases in size as we grow older. Humans who lose their hippocampus during surgery or injury also lose their ability to form new memories of facts or events. The hippocampus is responsible for the phenomenon that occurs when a particular scent or sight triggers a memory. The corpus callosum is axon fibers that connect the 2 cerebral hemispheres. It contains white matter which allows different parts of the brain to communicate with each other. Damage of the corpus callosum would result in weakening of a person's visual motor responses, such as preventing someone from matching sensations on one hand with movement on the other. The corpus callosum allows us to effectively recognize sights such as flowers with both of our eyes.